away we go. Hello, welcome to another episode of Steph's Box. That's my motherfucking jam.
That's fantastic. Did you write that from the heart?
Yes.
Good. That's a good place to hear. That's where music comes from.
Yeah, no, it was beamed to me in a pink laser beam from Aliens.
Oh, perfect.
Yes. And today my special guest is Tyler Deese, comedian, dungeon master, and gender-bending weirdo.
That's great. That's the perfect... I need to change my Instagram bio to include that at this point. That's
nice.
Perfect. So,
Nice.
yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, how's it going?
It's going good.
Cool. It's kind of interesting because like we've only just kind of chatted here and there at the open mics and never really had like a lengthy conversation. So I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I was when you hit me up, I was like, oh yeah, finally, I'll get some time to see what it is.
Right. Yeah, what it is. Okay, yeah, let's address the elephant. So, like, I think it was the first time I met you was when I was hosting Barzar, and you came in and did open mic, and I had just previously gotten started talking to about misgendering a non-binary person, and so I was like, okay. So I mean, I had to ask, what your pronouns are, and you're like, oh, I don't have any, and I was like, oh, fuck, what am I gonna do with that? And I'm like, okay, and I get up on stage and please welcome Tyler Deese. It's a person that does comedy. Like, I feel so bad like calling somebody an it, but
I get it. It's so the pronoun journey is interesting in general.
Yeah.
I think for everybody, and I do, like, personally, I'm like, oh, I don't really care, because in my day to day I get called sir and ma'am, like, almost 100% of the time, and the only thing that ever makes me uncomfortable is when we have to go through the part where they're like, oh, I'm sorry, like, it's, and then we have to do the apologetics and the, like, I didn't know, like, or whatever it is, when they realize I am or am not whatever they did or did not think I was.
Yeah.
So it's that's I had started doing that, and then at this point I've totally just gotten to be like, I'll just tell them they, them. That's the easiest one. Like, so.
Well, I mean, like, someone like you, like, non-binary is like the perfect fit, it's like, you seem like genuinely in between, but, sometimes like, meet some, big-tittied goth chick wearing makeup and like a booty skirt and fishnets, correct me like it's they them, and it's like, what the? Come on, really?
I've definitely gotten to the point with everybody else that I'm like, it's nouns until you tell me pronouns. Yeah. Like, until we get to the point where it's like, oh, like, I should definitely ask, because we're going to continue having conversations. This is going to be an extended thing.
Right.
It's just straight up nouns. That's all we're playing with anymore. What is your name?
Yeah. I think I started defaulting to they them, because that's just like whatever.
Yeah, and that one seems like if somebody gets mad at you about that one, I feel like it's the easiest one to just be like, I was really like doing my best.
Right.
I was really doing my best. I will totally refer to you by whichever pronouns you prefer, whatever you identify as, whoever you are.
Well, before we go too far with that,
all right, let's roll.
Like, I saw a Blair White podcast, or Blair White like YouTube thing, who apparently she's a trans woman who's transphobic too, just like me, and you're transphobic if you speak some common sense every now and then again, but she was talking about all of the like micro identities, or what are they called? That's like the neo pronouns. That's what it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes, I got you.
And you know, just going down the list, it's just so ridiculous. But yeah, she was talking about the actor who plays the Flash in the TV show. Decided that he's going to start going by Tree. Tree is his pronoun now.
Yeah.
Tree self.
Yeah.
And because he identifies as a tree, and that, you know, and it makes sense because people come from trees, is what he said. It's like, wait,
well, that one's not right.
Yeah.
That one's, I mean, that part, that is not right.
Yeah.
Trees very much, plants are very much disconnected. Weren't around on land until after animals were around on land.
Right.
So that, just the timeline doesn't match up.
No.
My thing with all of it is I think that it is somebody else's fault that we had to come up with all of that stuff. It's not each of us that are having to go through like the journey of like, am I they them? Am I ze them? Am I like this? Am I that? Like it is somebody else's fault for being like, well, the default is all that there is.
Right.
Like this is what there is, and this is the default. I do have hang-ups with people getting annoyed about like the extensive amount of pronouns, the extensive amount of sexual identities, and like all that, because it's like that was somebody else's fault. We could all just been fine if you guys were all just fine with stuff.
Yeah.
Because you guys decided sometime in the late 1800s that men having sex with men and women having sex with women wasn't cool, that men wearing women's clothing wasn't cool. You guys all just decided that willy-nilly and then told us it was always like that.
Right. Even though it was men that invented like makeup, wigs, and high heels for them to wear.
For them.
Right.
So they could feel pretty.
Yeah. Well, or the fact that the Europeans showed up and like most Native American tribes had at least 3 genders, you know, and it's like, nope, that's of the devil.
Yeah.
So, But you don't think it's gone too far? I mean, when there's like
not in that direction, not from the side of people who are identifying. No.
Oh, just like making stuff up, like.
Do I?
I'm freeze gender, meaning like sometimes I feel like cold and mysterious, or something.
I think. No, I don't think that it's gone too far. I think that it serves the exact purpose that it's meant to serve.
Trolling conservatives.
In pointing out the ridiculousness of being forced into having to do that, to having to be like, oh, I am this, I am that.
Right.
And it's like, just leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
Let me shop and take a piss.
Yeah.
Like, it's really, like, it doesn't seem like it's that complicated.
Interesting. I hadn't seen it that way. Like, I was getting kind of miffed about it because like it seems to kind of
steps
devalue like the trans struggle and you know, say like, look at me, I'm marginalized too, like, and it's like bullshit. You can walk around and use whatever bathroom you want, and like nobody's even looking at you, but you're here like making the biggest noise about, you know, it's they them, and it's like or Zazer or whatever, and you don't have any stake in the game really, you know, and it's just performative, and it's how I was seeing it. But I mean, like, you make a good point, and it's like, okay, like I mean, yeah, with the non-binary thing, I can get behind that, because it's just like, I don't fucking care, just leave me alone about it, you know. It's just you know, why does it matter?
But I totally I see your side of that 100% as well, though, because that's like, I mean, when I started thinking about it, that was part of, like, my thoughts about it, too. Is when you start saying things like that, you're like, okay, are you being performative?
Yeah.
And like, how does that affect the individual communities? How does that affect the community as a whole? Like, where's the positive? Where's the negative?
Yeah.
And I do, like, I think that a person coming at it with that intention does not have a leg to stand on.
Right.
100%. And I also think that it's
go pretend to be black or Asian or something.
Yeah,
like
it's very reasonable to think about people in the world and think about the number of people who are looking for a struggle to adapt onto themselves that they don't seem as privileged as they actually are.
Totally. Yeah, in today's climate, you get like the woke internet points for being identifying as something unusual.
But there are levels. There nuance to it. They're like the me making comments about that does not have any. I'm not coming at it from the same point that you are with your social experience and the life that you've led, and it's there's just levels to it. I mean, that's sort of like the stuff we were talking about earlier too. But there's just. I appreciate that, like, it could totally just be people being shitty too.
Yeah,
like, that makes complete sense.
Part of me thinks it's like Russian and Chinese disinformation bots sowing more division and making marginalized groups look crazy so that the opposite side has something to point at, say like, look at these fucking people, they're nuts. Like,
yeah, but I think we've already seen the peak of the ability for that side to make that joke. When there are bumper stickers that say "I identify as a gun," like it's like you didn't even try.
Yeah,
like you guys could have put a little bit of effort in,
right?
And you could have been insulting. You could have stepped on somebody else's, but you said absolutely the stupidest thing on the face of the planet. I identify as an attack helicopter.
Well, like, I was just gonna bring that up.
It's like, okay, got it. Like,
interesting. I just came across that like. I don't know. I guess I live in a cave a lot of the time, but apparently a couple of years back, when that whole 4chan meme started, there was a trans woman who wrote a short story from the point of view of an attack helicopter.
Yeah.
And it was like really well written science fiction, it was just like really good. And she got blasted so hard online for being a traitor, for being transphobic, just like I was telling you, like happened to me, to the point where like she just pulled down every instance and tried to scrub the internet of it and like disappeared into obscurity, didn't like publish any more writings, and like from what I could find out, like had a nervous breakdown and became suicidal and all this shit because of the public outcry from her supposed people, like
right, and people not realizing that, like, that's a perfect example of you co-opting something,
right,
that's being used as a weapon against you,
right,
and turning it into your thing,
right,
and making something out of it. That's like, sometimes when people are in it, I don't think that they can see that part, but that it's that shit's
it's like
ridiculous.
It's like if somebody tried to give me shit for using the words like retard or faggot in my stand-up routines. It's like oh, you can't say that, and it's like first of all, yes, I can. Like you might not have spent your whole life being called a retard and a faggot, but I have, and I think now that I have a platform to where I can use those words that were weapons against me in a way that make people laugh and bring joy, that's how I repurpose them. And
they become your words to use as you want to.
Right. Yeah. Following that same logic, that'd be like, some Karen telling a black person to stop saying the N-word, it's like, shut the fuck up.
Like,
where do you get off?
Exactly. I understand that, sure.
I don't think I've ever heard you drop that F-bomb in your material. Or wait, do you?
Oh yeah,
you do?
I say faggot. Yeah, for sure. It is a very, very enjoyable word to get to use when I feel like it, and it comes from the heart. Yeah, I think me and Jack have had conversations about that. Jack Nelson. Just like it just being something that, like, look, like I've heard it enough. Like I had to fire a guy like last year for calling me a faggot, but in Spanish. He didn't know that I understood.
Right.
And I was just like, "You gotta go."
Yeah.
It was just. It's like, yeah, I get to say that when I want to.
Right. That's our word.
I do, and especially on stage, like in the setting of being on stage and being able to use it as like a punchline and like an indicator of the emotion of where that joke actually came from. Because there's so much shit that you write that is like, well, this is a joke about something that hurt my feelings. Right.
Like,
then this is 100%, like, that word belongs in this joke. If it's at the punchline, that's fine, because that joke hurt my feelings. And me using that word is somehow cathartic.
Exactly.
Against it. Like, that's,
I mean, I never used the word before, because, like, I just hated it, because it hurt so much every time I heard it. It wasn't until I started doing comedy, that it was like, okay, it has a purpose here, but outside of it, I don't,
no.
Because, I mean, do you know the history of the term, yeah?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's that's LGBT 101. You have to answer that question to get into the community.
right. The other one is like, what was the first trans riot? Yeah. And that trips people up because they think Stonewall, and it wasn't.
No, don't.
It wasn't Stonewall. It's the Compton cafeteria riot.
I learned something. I would have rescinded my membership. Apparently, I've been in trouble.
Dun dun dun. To go out there and like rip the rainbow sticker off your car.
Go in the bathroom, wash my makeup off. Like, it's never been true. I'm just a cis head piece of shit.
You're Fox News watching fascist.
We'll go and throw out all my seasonings, all of them.
Oh my god, yeah, you're not kidding about the seasoning. I have an entire cabinet
we're moving and I'm like, damn, I gotta get a big old box for my seasonings.
Refrigerator box.
You
need your own SUV just to move them. So actually I was kind of curious about this, because like I've heard of you before I met you, like people talk, like good stuff, which is kind of rare in the gossip circles, but I remember hearing that like you had come out as bi and started talking about that on stage. Were you doing comedy before that?
No, I was, let's see, I guess that was all kind of happening at the same time. No, I had sort of gotten into I had realized that I was bi probably a few years before I started doing comedy.
Oh, okay.
It took me a little while to get comfortable talking about it, because I was going through the phase of like coming out to specific people just to test like how that was.
Oh god, I remember that Southern Baptist guilt that still lingered decades after I left the church.
It stays. It's in there. It's in there deep.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was so. I had been like kind of exploring that, and then I was doing my whole like gender identity journey on a whole different like level at that point. But I had like started more of like dressing more femme right before the pandemic, but the pandemic was just like,
that's what I was going to ask you, because actually my boyfriend commented like, Tyler used to not dress feminine, they talk about being bi on stage and stuff, but I guess the pandemic, it's like, well, shit, I gotta kill time somehow, let me try these heels on.
And it was like it was things like, so I would it was more that I would wear like femme clothes in the house and not even like thinking about it that way. It was just me and Kaylee were the same size.
Oh, okay.
So it was just, I could just put on her clothes when I wanted to. I found a tank top that I liked. I started wearing it here and there.
Right.
Just like sort of that sort of thing. Kaylee always did my hair because she was going to school for hair for a while, and she had
I
graduated.
had a girlfriend that's the same thing. Like,
Yeah, so I was like her test all the time. Anytime she needed to try this or that, then she used my hair for it. And so we would do fun stuff like that, and then it
Does she pluck your eyebrows too?
Yeah, she does my
See,
eyebrows for me.
that's what I miss about having a girlfriend.
Yeah, yeah.
I've had so many girlfriends that insist on doing it. I can't do it myself. I'm too much of a pussy.
Yeah,
you know, like,
no.
I'd rather tase myself. Than
Yeah,
like,
it is absolutely the most excruciatingly painful thing. I don't understand where those hairs are actually attached, but it feels like it's somewhere in the bottom of your jaw.
For me, it feels like my whole body's being shocked electrically. Like every single hair, it's like, oh,
yeah,
oh.
Yeah, she does them, and I'm like crying. I have like tears on my cheeks. I'm like, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. But yeah, so it went from that to like just little things. Like we were like, okay, like you want to go on a date, and like we'll both get dressed up.
Yeah.
And we were like, yeah, let's do that. And I was like,
Nice.
I like this. This is nice.
Wow, you got a cool wife.
I do. Yeah, she's been extremely, extremely supportive throughout that whole journey.
Nice.
So, especially for like that being something that was like I was straightforward with her once I started realizing that I was like, look, I'm pretty sure that I'm not just like cis.
Right.
Like I'm not sure what it is.
Right.
Because there's like the whole, you're like, oh, am I in egg phase? Like, am
Right.
am I in egg phase, or
Yeah.
is this what I want to do?
Yeah.
And so, but she's been extremely supportive throughout.
The pterodactyl has.
Yeah.
Well, so were you guys married when you came out as bi?
No, so we started. Yeah, that's funny. I was still in the phase where I felt like I needed to tell her I was bisexual before we had sex the first time.
Oh,
when
see,
we
that's
started
how I've
dating.
always been. Yeah.
So it's always like you feel like you have to do the warnings.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
And so that's where I was at that point. But no, she knew that I was bi from the start.
Oh, cool.
And we had to have the whole like conversation about that. And so
Some women are really into that, and some women are just as homophobic as your average jock redneck.
yeah, exactly. That's why I told people up front, like for exactly that reason, because it's like, well, I don't want to like do anything with you.
Yeah.
And then us have to have this conversation like in
Right.
bed afterwards or whatever,
Yeah.
or for you to throw whatever guilt you're about to throw at me.
Yeah.
Like, let's just get it done.
The
I
thing
can
you
go
did
home.
with your pinky, that wasn't my first time. So
Yeah,
you know.
just so you know, it was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice, but you can do more.
Yeah, you don't want to be like beating around the bush for like years, like trapped in a marriage where you're like, well, could maybe like one day, like I've kind of had this fantasy.
Yeah. Maybe if I'm with them long enough, then they'll be okay with it.
Yeah, so like 15 years in, you drop the bombshell, and they're like, "Oh my God, you've just been lying to me this whole time."
Yeah, that's the nightmare.
Yeah.
That's definitely just queer nightmare.
Yeah, and it's all too common of a tale. Like
it is. Yeah,
a story as old as the wind.
Yeah. But no, she's she knew that, and then we just sort of did the like, am I non-binary? Am I not? Like journey. We've been doing that over the past few years. But the pandemic was like a fire starter for just non-binary people in general. I think everybody in the queer community seems to have exploded in the pandemic.
I keep hearing like so many different stories that indicate like there's so many silver linings that came out of the lockdown.
Yeah.
You know, and at the time, I mean, and, you know, you could look at, like, the economy and things like that, and it's like, well, blah, 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 blah. Like, it kind of, you know...
yeah, but we're not capitalists here. No capitalists over here. No.
Thanks.
We don't look at the economy.
Like, when the fuck has the Dow Jones affected your daily life? Like, it doesn't, you know? Like, not even 50% of the population owns stock. So, you know, it's like... That's why I liked Andrew Yang. He was like, we should get rid of the stock market as a measure for the health of the economy, and actually come up with useful metrics like maybe the actual mental health of the
how people are. I've got an idea.
Happiness.
How are the people?
Right. Do what they do in what's that fucking country? It's like near the Himalayas, Nepal. Yeah. Where their country judges their success on a happiness quotient. So, the happier their population is, the better their country's doing. And I fucking love that idea.
Yeah. They got a lot of dead bodies on their mountain in Nepal. They're not happy about that.
Wow.
I fell down a rabbit hole for Mount Everest.
Oh.
Adventure things, and just, of course, it devolves into, did you know there's dead bodies all over Mount Everest?
Oh, yeah.
It's
who's going to go up there to claim them, you know?
Yeah. And they apparently, they had to move, hundreds of them over, a year or two ago. They were these are just in a really bad place, and it's making more people die because there's dead bodies all over the place.
Yep.
And it's bottlenecks. Okay, we don't have to talk about
that's
all
that's
the
cool.
deaths on Mount Everest.
Didn't they have to do something change the peak? Like people can't go to the same spot that they've been going all this time because of something similar.
I think that's what that was. Is they had to reroute for a while, and it was just because
piles of frozen turds and stuff.
There was just trash and dead bodies just laying up there. So
not Nepal, it's Bhutan.
Bhutan,
that's what it was. Yeah, tiny little country. But there was this, I think he was the leader of Bhutan. He did a TED Talk I saw a long time ago, but he was talking about that whole thing, and just really progressive type. I don't know. It's we end up with a bunch of sociopaths running things here,
Yeah, that's what money does.
Yeah.
I'm listening to History of Henry Kissinger right now. That's what I was doing on my way over here. So
fine.
Just see how bad we've always been.
Yeah, that's the problem. When your system runs on a zero-sum game, everybody's fucked because nobody wins in a zero-sum game. There's short-term winners, the psychopaths that think that they're winning by screwing everybody else over, and in the short term it looks like they are.
I mean, if I was flying to space, I'd consider myself a winner. I don't know about you, but you put my ass in a rocket, I am winning.
Especially if it looks like a giant dick.
Yeah, man, especially if it looks like a giant dick. What else are we gonna fuck the Earth with?
Right. It's just crash it into Venus.
Yeah, great. I don't know about you, but he's got a big old yacht. I don't know what winning looks like anymore.
But none of that shit's good. Good for anything in the long.
It's
you have to start wearing a Dune still suit to walk on the surface. All right,
I'm gonna have to snub you again because if I get to wear one of those suits, then I'm winning.
Those are some pretty sexy suits.
Those are really, really badass suits. I'm gonna look as good as I've ever looked in my life in the dystopian future that we're hurtling towards. I just know that.
Oh shit! I don't think I do well. I get really hangry. If I'm a couple of hours past the normal time and I would eat, and I only eat 2 meals a day, but if it's hours going by, a long road trip, and I Hulk out a bit, I just bitch out, everything's just My point being, I would resort to cannibalism really quickly.
Oh, yeah.
24 hours, and I'm eating my neighbors.
You just got to.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. You got to get rid of them for one reason or another. You might as well cook them after you do it.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you should finish watching last week's episode because we were,
oh, yeah, I forgot you guys did cannibalism last week.
It was part of it. Like, I'm not going to spoil it, but yeah, it was pretty dark. So yeah, like talking about corpses on Mount Everest is like that's a lighter mood.
Got you. Okay, right. Cool. Keeping it light, and
right.
They're frozen, and they're also colorful too. They have to wear those big colorful snowsuits.
Oh,
and so they're all like they named part of the mountain Rainbow Ridge.
Oh, fun!
And it's because of the body. And the colors. But yeah, so I'm glad that we could get back to it, and I could feel like it was an okay thing to delve into deeper.
One of our Alphabet Mafia people should go up there and plant a flag on Rainbow Ridge, because that's appropriation there, you know? Like, naming a bunch of dead bodies. I bet they're all like cishet guys up there and calling it Rainbow Ridge.
Absolutely.
Canceled.
That's...
Canceled. Everest is canceled.
Everest is canceled.
Yep.
Everest. You've had long enough to get your shit together. It is 2022, Jesus. And you are canceled.
Yeah. That's such like the whole practice of mountain climbing in general is that's pure toxic masculinity. That doesn't do anything for the greater good. There's especially not like my whole thing is, if you could be like one of the first ones, then it makes sense, right?
Like, it makes sense. But for you to go up and do that shit, and like, it costs so much money. It costs like a year's worth of money to go and do.
A year's worth of whose money?
Year's worth of...
Like, if I was bagging groceries for a year, could I afford to go up there? Or is it like...
No, you have to be
money.
One tax bracket higher than that. So still poor. But just taxed more.
Oh, okay.
It's just that one. So, it costs like $35,000 to do the expedition.
Wow.
So $35,000. And you're going to go up there and you're going to die with 100 other people who died trying to do it. And they wait in line with like 60 other human beings that are walking up to the top that day and walking back down.
That's insane.
What the hell? What are you doing? Why would you die for that?
Well, the Sherpas are loving it, I'm sure.
Yeah,
that's just like steady income.
Oh my God, just culling the Caucasians? Absolutely. Like, it's wonderful.
Silly white guy is going to walk up there by himself.
He's like, oh, all 6 of you want to go up? No oxygen today. Oh, it's late spring? Let's go. You got it. Just murdering them by the group.
That's like... That's like that's the Nepalese equivalent of sending some guy who just came here from rural Africa to a New York subway and just saying like, have at it, buddy, like you want to take the D to the L to the and make sure you like say hello to everybody you meet.
I'll see you in Brooklyn. Let me know when you get there.
Here's this magic black box, just
if you just type Brooklyn into it, it'll get you there. It's like, what? And you're like, bye.
Oh man. Actually, I used to when I was commuting on the buses and trains in LA, I would regularly see this guy that was straight up. Well, I mean that too. Yeah, there was always one of those.
Yeah, it's necessary.
Yeah, that one guy in the back, is masturbating with that devil-may-care nonchalance, usually just afforded for the residentially and disabled, like, I mean homeless, that's what I'm saying. No, this guy that looked straight out of Africa. I mean, like, just wore like the same like tribal outfit, like like all the jewelry, like was bought like ebony black and just riding on the city bus, like I'd see him like frequently, and just had the scariest, meanest look on his face every single time. Like I mean, I was so tempted to just like, I like meeting people from all over and asking about their culture and stuff like that, and I was so tempted on multiple occasions, but just looking at the guy, it looked like he's killed a lion with his bare hands. It's just...
Turns out he's just from Tampa and he's got the worst casting director. And that's why he's always so mad. He's like, this racist motherfucker keeps booking me for these damn roles and telling me to wear this outfit every goddamn time. I swear to fucking God, I'm gonna kill him.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Man, I never even thought about it that way. I should have. Then I would have not be too timid to approach him.
You'd have been like, oh, that's just depression. Yeah. That's not. He hasn't killed a lion. He just can't kill the anger inside of him. It's been building up for years. That's just the weight of capitalism once again.
Oh God. Yeah, I just saw apparently Tennessee's passing a bill that criminalizes homelessness.
Oh, that always works.
Yeah.
That's 100%. We've done it in the past, and it worked every time.
Well, see, what they're actually doing is charging them a fine, which, because, collecting money from homeless people is easy.
Yeah.
And then jailing them.
Right.
And then on top of that, they now have the right to destroy their tents and supplies and whatever they have. Right. They're shitty possessions, because fuck that garbage, we're not gonna put it in storage, know.
Yeah, and that's somebody else's shit, so it's garbage.
Yeah. It's our shit to do. They're not even gonna, civil forfeiture, like a dirty sleeping bag. It's just gonna, throw it on a tire fire and and put them to work. That's what the homeless are good for, working. Holding down steady jobs, that's, but yeah, put them in forced labor camps. That's
exactly.
That's the American dream nowadays.
Yeah, for sure.
What
else are you gonna do with them? Help them?
Right.
I mean, goodness gracious. Why would they want to do that?
Not when there's a $1.8 billion private prison industry,
Yeah.
Yeah, you get labor, for pennies on the dollar. Don't even have to go to China for that, just lock up potheads and brown people and,
keep those jobs in America.
Yeah. You can't pay your fine? Oh, you didn't get your court summons? Oh, failure to appear. Now go pick up trash, go stamp license plates, and that's the little loophole they use to get around the 14th Amendment.
Yeah.
Just make it a civil issue instead of a criminal one.
Yeah. Well, flat out, I mean, they are allowed to enslave incarcerated people. There's no exemption from that part.
Right. Yeah, so, that's written in. So,
yeah.
So what's going on with mass incarceration is just slavery with extra steps.
Right, exactly.
Man. Making America great again.
One
state at a time. Yes. Yeah, we want to roll back pre-nuclear family era, pre-World War II. Let's take it all the way back to...
North Carolina just needs to be a swamp that 3 people all think they're governor of. That's what we want. We want it back to the way that it was. Yeah. We want the real North Carolina. Yeah. Everybody's got syphilis. Just like
wait, there's people that don't have syphilis yet?
They say they don't.
Oh. Yeah, obvious lie. That's what all the pedophiles say. No, I don't diddle kids. Yeah. Go worship the devil.
I thought you were saying their pickup line was that they don't have syphilis. Hey, no, I don't have a puppy. I don't have syphilis either.
All right, we're
Up
fucking.
In the van.
We're fucking. Yeah.
Up in the van.
That seals the deal for me. Yeah, no, I don't bother with any of that sweet talk or holding the door or going out to dinner. Just Just make sure your dick's not disease-ridden, and we're good to go.
I like how cordial your pedophile is. And your pedophile is like, no, we have to do this right.
Yeah.
I will take you on 4 dates, and then I will meet your mother. Only then can we hold hands.
Well, that's basically what they're doing in Tennessee by, like these Southern politicians rolling back removing the age restrictions on marriage.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, while calling all Democrats pedophiles.
That's why they had to get the homeless people out of there.
Yeah.
They were like, all these 14-year-olds are going to be wettable. And 14-year-olds love the homeless. We'll get them off the streets. We can marry all the 14-year-olds. It'll be great.
Wow. Yeah, no, and then, reproductive rights, like abortion's like the first stop. But, again, in our rolling back of, rolling back the clock to make America great, like women's health is going back to, giving birth in a ditch in the yard while under a thunderstorm, hoping a coyote doesn't come and steal the afterbirth,
Hanging on to a tree.
Yeah. Oh shit, I think I got that imagery from a Patton Oswalt bit. If I would never willfully steal someone's material. It's just such a great image,
Patton's out there. He saw it, and you were in trouble.
Oh
You
yeah.
will never work with Patton Oswalt again.
Yeah.
This is the end of it.
Fuck.
Right here.
God.
I'm glad I'm on this side of the table.
Oh man. He goes into such rages too. He's like an epic angry man. He's an epic monster, especially against LGBT people.
God, you just hear stories about him all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, Patton got another one.
Yep.
Patton chewed him out another one.
Yep.
Oh man, can't work with Patton.
I remember one time we were at Met Gala and he showed up in blackface. No shit. And he just started yelling at every Asian person he saw, blaming them for COVID. Yeah. And then he pissed in the punch bowl.
I think I saw that. That was after he had been on Twitter earlier that day, and he was like, J.K. Rowling's a saint. Yeah. Nobody touched J.K. Rowling. Trans people suck. Lol, lol, lol.
Yeah.
I remember that. Clear as day. It was a big deal. Everybody just pretends it didn't happen.
I was the biggest fan of his. Since the 90s. I love the guy. But, just this new Patton... it's just one thing after the other. I've just been gradually losing respect for him.
Every day,
and
something new.
I just don't understand how that much hate fills somebody's heart overnight. You know?
It's hard to watch the Patton Oz fall.
Yeah, I see what you did there. Yeah.
Oh, good. That was very fun.
Yeah. Wow, that was hard to keep a straight face.
You almost got me with Patton Oswalt and blackface for half a second. I was like, don't meet your heroes. Don't meet your heroes. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. Don't meet your heroes. Yeah. We all know this story by now. It doesn't matter how glorious they may be. Don't meet your heroes. They've been in blackface.
Oh wow. No. I would love to meet him. Although I have heard that he's not super nice to people coming up, and especially other comedians that are low tier. And it's
well, you shouldn't be.
You shouldn't be you're an open mic? Get away from me.
Gross. You're working on yourself? Yeah. I can't believe you. Come back when you're fully formed.
It's like somebody comes up and asks if they can run a bit by you, and you just punch them in the throat.
Yeah. How's that for a bit?
Yeah.
God, Patton Oswalt, super deep voice punching me in the mouth. Didn't know I needed to think about it. But
yeah, he seems like a very violent guy.
But no, I could see that. I don't talk to strangers. Don't talk to strangers. They taught us that when we were kids, and then we grow up into adults, and they're like, now you have to talk to strangers.
Yeah.
And it's like, what?
Mixed messages.
What?
I don't know. Strangers always had the best candy, though. Wow, this is a nice van.
Roomy. Gobstoppers.
Yeah, we're just hitting all the bases. Covering all the bases. Well, shit, I guess, like, since we're, like, raging pedos now, we might as well learn how to talk the talk, right?
Yeah. Yep. Gotta know.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Fucking groomer.
Never know. Never know you're gonna have to blend in with.
Yeah. Although, to be honest, if I was, like, locked up in prison, I think it'd be an easier go to be locked up with, you know, the child diddlers than, you know, the hardcore violent criminals. Because, you know, like, thing about pedos is they do look kind of soft and squishy most of the time, you know, like, I mean, still, that probably wouldn't happen because, you know, like, I'd be a danger to them, you know?
Yeah,
like,
probably
like,
so. Yeah. And that's assuming that you would get the same sort of safety privileges that are afforded to a pedophile if you got sent to prison.
No, I wouldn't. I'm a trans woman.
No, absolutely. No,
like, they would want to throw me in gen pop because that's part of my punishment, right? You've got to learn not to do hallucinogens in this society. What is that? A hit of acid? 15 years in the fuck you in the ass tank. Yeah, I don't care if you got tits. They're gonna love you. Yeah, no, that is fucked up. Like, I think New York and California are the only states where like trans women actually go to women's lockup.
Yeah.
But I heard like in Canada it's kind of a problem because there you don't have to do anything to have trans status except for just say that you're like there's apparently like there's criminals out there, you know, guys, because guys commit most of the crimes, then get arrested and say, oh, I'm a woman, you know, like, you know, some like muscle-bound dude with a lumberjack beard, like, I'm a woman. Okay, women's jail, I guess. You know, it's like, and put fucking predators in there, and it's like, okay, like that's a little too woke, you know. There needs to be some checks and balances, you know, some litmus tests. Yeah. To, you know.
I don't know what's going wrong in Canada because I have a hard enough time figuring out what's going wrong here on any given day.
Yeah.
on who is telling me what and what I'm supposed to be scared of because of it. It's just like you know it's a wash right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean. Yeah, you're supposed to be afraid of everything that the media tells you to be.
You're supposed to be afraid of everything. Is what I thought. I'm just supposed to exist in a constant state of fear because that way I don't cause any problems.
Yeah,
that's the code I live by. So
I'm pretty much just afraid of brain aneurysms and drowning while being eaten alive by a shark. Like that's the big two. Yeah,
one of those. Seems like you could have a lot more control over it than the other one.
Right. Yeah. That's why I don't go in the ocean.
Yeah. Like, problem solved there.
Right. Aneurysm, until there's land sharks, I'm fine.
But brain aneurysm, that's like...
any second.
What if it's out?
Yeah.
Oh my God. No. You can't die in here. That is... You can't die in here with me, and I can't deal with that.
Oh, you can do anything you want, technically.
But don't die right now. Now I'm scared of your brain aneurysm.
Oh, God damn it.
now we're just two people who are scared of you dying from a brain aneurysm.
Okay, change the subject.
But,
la 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 la. Hamster cannons.
Nice, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was actually going to send you into a spot.
Yeah. No, that's why I was alcoholic, just to like distract myself from the impending fear of the abiding fear of aneurysms, just like every second of every day.
Does alcohol make brain aneurysms more or less possible?
Probably more,
Probably
but
more.
it makes
That
you
was,
care
okay.
less.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's what. Yep. Forgot. That's the part that does matter.
Right.
That's what we do it for.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's nice not drinking. Like, after like 25 years, I feel like I unlocked superpowers.
Really?
All of a sudden, yeah.
I'm at a point where I'm like, I think I'm probably gonna stop. Like, in just totally. I think I might be done.
Well, I mean, yeah, I was up to like 18 beers a day.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah.
So.
And the scary part is, like, nobody, like, I mean, I was around people all the time, and, like, nobody ever saw me drunk,
Right.
like, sloppy, really.
Right,
You know?
right.
Like, when I tell people, you know, they're like, holy shit, really? Well,
Yeah.
you held your composure pretty well, and I'm like, Irish and Cherokee, it's built into my genes,
Yeah.
you know? Like,
It's always funny, too, that people are always like, oh, they're an alcoholic, so they have to be like the television version.
Yeah.
Like where it has to be projected to you. It's like, no. But, most people who have substance abuse issues aren't just out throwing them in everybody's face.
yeah.
Kind of using that as a coping mechanism to hide their own emotions. They're certainly not going to push those emotions out on you at this point
Right,
until it gets
right.
too damn bad. So,
Yeah. Well, I was always a happy, funny drunk. Like, actually,
yeah,
I
that'll
never
do it, too.
I never
Yeah.
did a sober set
Yeah.
until this year, and
Yeah.
it was like, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, shit, okay, autism in full swing now. Everything's really loud, and I can't understand what people are saying because it all just sounds like blah 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 blah, and it's like, let's do this. Yeah, no, like the only side effects was laziness and liver damage, you know? like I wasn't a mean drunk. I wasn't like, you know, getting pulled over or, you know, like starting drama or any of that shit. You know, it's just wasn't, just wasting my time watching YouTube videos instead of doing shit that I want to do. And, yeah.
Now, I will stop drinking, but you're not going to stop me from watching too much YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That is. I'm gonna have to hang on to that.
Oh,
one.
sure.
I think maybe that's the decade between us. I feel like YouTube is somewhere in part of my heart. I have to have it to exist. Just after being just having it shoved down my throat forever.
Wow, I was well into my 20s when YouTube started. Yeah.
See, yeah, no, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I know. I vividly remember watching the X-Men dub. That was the Juggernaut video. That was the thing that I was like, I don't know what we're looking at right now, but this is amazing.
Yeah.
It was basically just friends sitting around. They would do dubs of the old X-Men cartoon.
Oh, okay.
And it's just the one that like blew up the most. And
I don't know if I
it
ever
was
saw
viral
that
for
one.
a while. It is wonderful.
I'll have to check that out.
It's exquisite. It aged well.
Yeah.
I've watched it recently, and it's still hilarious to watch a bunch of friends sit around and laugh at each other giving goofy voices to X-Men characters.
That does sound fun.
So,
Have you ever seen any of the Red Letter Media stuff? Like Mr. Plinkett, like the Star Wars reviews?
I don't think so.
Oh my god!
It's not ringing a bell for me. At least.
I'll send you a link.
Okay.
Yeah, that shit's so hilarious. Yeah, it was shortly after the prequels came out, and there was a lot of us old school nerds that were deeply upset. Like, it was such a fucking betrayal.
This is fun because I'm totally like, I love Star Wars. My first experience with it was VHS, originals.
Same.
So I'd watched those multiple times, and I went through the prequels, and I've gone through this. I think it's all fine. I think it's all fine. I think the most recent ones have the most weaknesses.
Wow.
But I honestly, prequels.
Okay, if
fine.
you don't mind, I'm gonna have to light a smoke for this
Yeah,
debate.
yeah,
Okay.
that's fine. That's perfectly fine.
This is an occasion where it is okay for me to smoke in the house, like while I'm white trash.
Yay!
Which, I mean, I am white trash. I'm not gonna deny it. You know, like. Oh my god! Like, yeah, I mean, grew up barefoot, like with a Kool-Aid mustache. Where's my fire? Yeah.
But no, I'm 100% on the side of they're all okay. And
Yeah. No. Okay. How old are you again?
31.
31. Okay, so 10-year difference.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's start with what is your favorite part of the prequels?
My favorite part of the prequels, let's see. Of course, I like Mace Windu. I really like the Coliseum fight with Mace Windu. I really, really enjoy Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. I that's probably my biggest thing, is I love watching Ewan McGregor be Obi-Wan.
Well, yeah, no, he's great, but my problem with Obi-Wan in the prequels is he's written in a way, like, he's just a whiny bitch most of the time. He just, like every time there's something going on, he's just sitting on the spaceship complaining about, like, well, we should be doing this, and I don't know if this is such a good idea, and blah, 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 blah. Like, there's no, I don't know. Like, the whole...
He is a perfect representation of the shackled Jedi that he's supposed to be representative of. He's supposed to be he's the disciple of a guy who was really trying to push against that sort of track for the Jedi, where it's all very hardline rules. We communicate everything.
Wait. Where's it say any of that in the movie?
It doesn't. It's all it's very obvious, though. That's what the story is set up. And the Jedi are pretty clearly not... They're behaving in a very civilized version of the Jedi way, which is, of course, what's going on.
You've read the books, haven't you?
No, I've not read the books. No,
I
do. I read lore for fun here and there, but
okay.
I don't have like a compendium of knowledge that's actually built from reading things in canon.
It kind of feels like because that's one of the big arguments in defense of the prequels was like, well, like, it explains all of this in, like, the books and the games and everything like that, and it's like, well, I didn't buy a movie ticket to, like, get half of the story. I liked it because it felt like world building that the original movies needed, because the first movie was made to be a singular movie. Oh, the New Hope, you mean?
Mm-hmm. And then it sort of compounded after that, and I like that there was service done to the world. Well, because I'm a huge world person when it comes to sci-fi.
I get that, like, because, like, both of us are dungeon masters.
Right, exactly,
I mean, like, I've been designing video games since I was a kid. I went to video game college, so I'm all about the world building. I just think George Lucas fucking sucks at it, because
maybe so.
Like the first A New Hope, like, there's all these little tidbits that have so much mystery about them that you could use your imagination and, like, fill in the blanks or, like, wonder about. And it's like, trying to spell out all of those, like, finite details, I don't want to see a galactic Senate hearing. I don't give a shit, And, and it was supposed to be marketed towards kids. And it's like, see an 8-year-old watching, they're sitting, like, sitting and watching galactic politics, like, okay, and now now we're going to go into the annual budget.
We could have used a couple of establishing shots and the Yoda fight at the end, and that would have been plenty for that room.
Yeah.
Like, I will agree with that. But I think part of my issue with trying to compare like those bits of it is that I do think you're right. I think George Lucas is kind of really bad at his job.
Well, surrounded himself with yes men too. Nobody telling him like, dude, that's a stupid idea.
Right. I think that he's kind of really bad at his job, but I think that that's what makes I think the first ones are campy, and I think that the prequels are campy. Like, I think that that's part of what they lost in the third trilogy. They lose a lot of the camp that made it enjoyable.
I wouldn't even call it camp. Like, I love me some camp. Like I would totally have sex with Bruce Campbell. Even today's Bruce Campbell. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Hail to the king, baby.
Yeah.
Of
course.
I don't see the prequels as campy. I see them as just straight up cheesy. But
that's what, when directors are campy, that's what happens. When you have so I think that what saves the first movies is a lot of the cast.
Yeah,
100%. I think what saves the prequel trilogy is cast.
But it's like all of the dialogue is so like stilted, and especially the love scenes. Come on,
yeah,
and like the characters are so flat. There's no like personalities to them. Okay, here I want to recreate this experiment that they did on Mr. Plinkett because it's really good. And all right, so we're gonna play a little game. Without describing their appearance or saying what they do for a profession, describe these characters. Han Solo.
Without describing their appearance or what they do.
Yeah.
Cocky. Mm-hmm. Boisterous. Gung-ho. Mm-hmm. I think that's our main descriptors of Han Solo.
Okay. C-3PO.
Protocol, of course. He's very rigid, soft-spoken, but persistent. I think that's a good way to talk about him too. Tries to be extremely polite, but refuses to shut up about what he thinks is right at any given time.
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah.
And effeminate, cowardly.
Yeah.
Okay, how about Queen Amidala?
I think that's not quite as difficult as you think it is. I think that she is stoic. She is also very compassionate. And she has the ability to compartmentalize those two things, which I think are very apparent in the way that her character is designed, and is a really good way to talk about somebody who's supposed to be a good politician. Is she's lawful good and thinks and has to separate the stoicism from the compassions to accommodate being lawful good.
How about Qui-Gon Jinn?
Qui-Gon Jinn is, like I was describing him earlier, he's hard-headed, would be the best way to put it. He's also thoughtful, and compassionate would also be another word that I would apply to Qui-Gon. His character gives that.
Thoughtful and compassionate. Well, that's...
I meant thoughtful more in the studious sense, instead of like an interpersonal sense and an investigative sense.
Well, we also know that he's morally dubious and a crook.
Yes.
Because, when they get stranded on Tatooine, he immediately tries to use the Jedi mind trick to rip off an honest businessman.
Yeah.
You know, like
yeah. No, he's 100%. He has that like same rogue mentality of Han Solo, but wrapped in something completely different. If you took what Han Solo has in like his core little belief system, where he is kind of like, I don't know how I would describe that, because I don't think he's a good necessarily. He's probably like a true neutral of a
thief
character.
with the heart of gold.
Yes, it's that thing where he's going to do what he wants to do because he believes it is right. And Qui-Gon does it with a little bit more like, shh. And Han Solo's like, pew, 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 shoot you under the table.
Well,
fuck you,
yeah.
Greedo.
He's in it for the profit at first, you know. He just wants the money.
Exactly. But that's I would say that Qui-Gon's driven by the same thing. It's not the money, but he has a goal that he's going to accomplish, and he's going to accomplish it the way he wants to.
Okay, well, yeah, that didn't go as well as I thought it would.
Sorry, I told you I really, really like him. I know. I can put lipstick on pigs if I need to.
Okay, well, at least you admit that that's what you're doing.
I'm saying I've got a bias at least. I won't admit to being wrong, but I'm saying that.
So like some of the other things that really bug me, like just the plot, just like writing stuff, you know, because like I'm a big writer. That's what I do, and. Like, okay, so like the whole politicking part of it is like so convoluted and pointless, like
and completely unnecessary.
What's the trade blocking? What's the trade block? The embargo. What's it blocking? Like, and this what's the planet? That's I forget. Amidala's planet, Naboo. Yeah. Like they're being blocked from trade goods. What trade goods, like medicine, food, or something, like, and the entire planet just falls into chaos within like a day of a trade embargo, and you know, like it's just it's.
Yeah, I think that the writing was definitely poor there, because it was clear that what they were trying to set up and what they did not accomplish was that this is the city that benefits off of all the surrounding planets around it. It benefits off of the inhabitants of Naboo that actually like have lived there forever, whatever that was.
Where are you getting all of this?
Because just as far as like so things are written to mean things, and typically when you see big shiny city with all the flashy cars, everybody's all dressed up, pomp and circumstance, this is where the Senate lives. If you're talking about blocking trade to them, then I would assume that, okay, yeah, these people don't do any of this work themselves. None of this stuff is produced on planet. It's all brought in from off-world. Like, it's just your typical shining city in a feudal society, which is what that is also, like, set up to be like. It's supposed to be a better version of... It's supposed to be like capitalism, is what it's supposed to be like. And that's the shining city on the hill of capitalism, and around it are all the places that actually do all the work and trade all the stuff in.
See, like you're already writing a better story than George Lucas wrote.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you do know that he bragged about writing the script for the first prequel in like a weekend, right?
If I can make that much money doing it. I mean, and it's, once again, I have to take it all the way back to the fact that I think that's what he was trying to do with the first one he wrote anyway. If he could have written a script in a weekend and made the money that he did off of New Hope when he was writing New Hope, he would have done it. Wow. It's the same beast, and I like it for I like the whimsy of all of it. Is the most attractive part of it to me, and I like having characters that are a little bit shittily written and don't say enough. Or don't say what they mean enough, so that I can imprint things on.
Well, that's how the original movies were.
Right.
There was a lot, like I feel like in the prequels, like the characters are so two-dimensional, you know, and it's oh, is it like back to Patton Oswalt? He has this great bit where he's like, if I had a time machine, the first thing I would do is go back in time before I would go back in time and kill George Lucas with a shovel to stop him from making the prequels. You know, it's like yeah, like what's the plot of the first one? It's like are we gonna see like Darth Vader? Oh yeah, you're gonna see him, but you know he's a little kid, and then you get to see him as a little kid, and then his mom dies, and he's very sad. And it's
like you're forgetting something very important. You get to watch a pod race. Pod race, yep, all day. I watch a pod race. Love it so much. I'm probably going to write it into a D&D campaign. That's how much I love it. And second off, you get Darth Maul. Come on. I love Darth Maul. I love laser fight. I love laser wall fight.
Well, that was the other thing too. And like as a fan of the original movies, like when you pay attention, like there's like if you add up all the lightsaber fights in all three movies, there's like maybe 10 minutes total worth of lightsaber fighting. And in the prequels, it's just like, you know, lightsaber, you know, like, and then like, let's have like 1 million lightsabers on the same screen, let's just flood every frame with as much visual information that we can so that there's nowhere to focus. It's just like,
I'm
autism.
I'm waiting for you to get to the problem. I think that I will say one thing. So I think that I'm just going to point out maybe a bit of your bias at this point, because you've said that you felt like the movies weren't marketed to children, and then described a light festival of lightsabers happening on screen at all times, which seems like the most child-oriented part of the whole.
Well, that's what's so disconnected in it. That's why you know, because like on one hand, you know, like I mean it's just kind of like an expansion on what Lucas did with the digital remasters of the old ones. Like, here, let's put this like as many like weird looking alien CGI creatures in every frame as we can. You know, like look at it's a silly little cartoon gag. You know, and. You know, so like he puts all this childish stuff in there, but then it's about galactic trade and politics and
Vietnam.
You know, it's just so disjointed and yeah, I mean, like the Anakin as a kid, you know, it's like, well, who is the protagonist of the first prequel of Episode 1?
Oh yeah, it's Obi-Wan, and you don't know it. I think so. All right. So no, I think that a better way to look at it is George Lucas did. The first one is a chapter about Qui-Gon. 100%. Qui-Gon dies at the end of it. That's the end of that book. The next one picks up, and we end up follow Anakin basically through the whole second book. And then in the third book, we follow Obi-Wan. Oh,
you gotta love that the acting chops on the Anakin as a teenager.
Oh, right? I feel like everything that could possibly be said about that acting role has been said as far as negative things. Looking back at it, think it's fine. It's as fine as everything else in the movie. And honest to God, I eat up the lava scene every time. I don't care how much they feel like anybody is overdoing it. I love that scene. It brings tears to my eyes watching a master and his Padawan duke it out and know that one of them is about to just be murdered. Just all of that. I like that. I could forgive literally everything in all three of those movies. Just for that scene.
I think of kung fu lightsaber fighting and like just Well, then just like...
Well, and that one wasn't. It was not. It was like one, like just the final strike. Like that whole... the dialogue
that was like 25 minutes long.
Right, but that's not the part. I'm specifically talking about just for the 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Just for the 2 minutes where Anakin is clearly defeated.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan is trying to convince him that he's defeated so that he doesn't have to kill him.
Right.
And just, yeah, I would do it all just for that. And I feel like, of course, we could have had a much better 3 movies if the first one had just been basically that storyline. If we had compressed those 3 movies into one and gotten that part out of the way and started talking about the in-between times, then, like, I think it could have been something more enjoyable, but I really like it.
Like, was it, I'm sorry, I can't get that Patton Oswalt bit out of my head. It's I have to resolve it because like he goes on to say what do we see in the second movie? Oh, do you like Boba Fett? Oh yes, hell yes, I love Boba Fett. You know, with the helmet and the jetpack, and he's a bounty hunter. Wait, what's he doing in this one, George? Oh, well, you see him as a little kid, and then his dad dies, and he's very sad. It's like, that sounds awful. Wait, like, are we going to see the Death Star? And it's like, well, yeah, you see it at the very end of the last movie, and it's just kind of off in the distance, and they're still building it, and it's like, I don't care how they made it. I don't give a shit how they put the plumbing in and did the electrical, you know? Like, I just like that it's blowing up planets and, you know, like it's...
I don't know. And you know what? I take it back. I don't think it would have been better if we'd learned about the in-between times. I want the stories to be almost distinctly separated from one another. I like the fact that basically every character from the prequels couldn't exist in the original trilogy, logistically.
Right.
But I really like that they didn't try to be like, oh, this is Han Solo's dad. Like,
right.
I would have found no redeeming
They did it to Boba Fett.
but Boba's a clone. He ain't got a dad.
But yeah, like I'm still gonna send you that Mr. Plinkett just because even if you disagree with everything he says, like the character that he does and like just the way it's edited and like it's just fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
It's like to me,
I'm
like
sure I would
his
enjoy it.
to me his reviews are vastly more entertaining than the movies.
Yeah.
Moving along, like so what about how J.J. Abrams totally fucked up Star Trek?
I do not have any harsh opinions for or against anything regarding Star Trek.
You're one of those like Star Wars camp versus Star Trek camp?
No, never, not a versus either.
Oh,
just simply I understand that I have not watched any Star Trek.
Ever?
And thus, I've seen a couple of episodes here and there.
Of what, the original, like
I think,
Kirk and Spock?
No, I think New Generations would have been the one that I would have caught, because I would have caught some of it on television.
Next Generation.
Wow,
you didn't even know the name of it.
Told you.
Wow.
I told you. That's I'm a very specific nerd.
Yeah.
I lose track of multiple yeah, no.
Yeah.
I don't have any knowledge of the Trek universe.
Wow. What would you say this is the nerdiest thing about you?
Oh, let's see. I have an extensive knowledge of One Piece, the anime, up until about episode 743, and I've only really stopped because now my wife is watching through it with me. So that one's...
I've never even heard of it.
It's moderately nerdy. It's been running since like 1999.
Wow. I've never gotten much into anime. It's like, I know like Ninja Scroll and Ghost in the Shell and Akira.
Yeah.
Which I saw that because my cousin was like that was one of his first voice over gigs was the English dub of Akira. He played the scientist.
Yeah.
When he was 17. He played the old guy with the Dr. Wily looking motherfucker.
That's cool. But yeah, I don't know. It seems that's a hard question now because I don't know what is and isn't nerd culture anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Is it nerdy to watch anime anymore? Probably not.
Probably not. Like, it's kind of mainstream.
Yeah,
you know?
it's probably
just like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, yeah. It's not nerdy that I play Dungeons and Dragons anymore.
Yeah.
It's not,
video games are more popular than movies.
Yeah,
and, you know,
it's not nerdy that I've played the original Pokemon games like 100 times each.
Like the Bible is mistranslated. Jesus didn't say the meek shall inherit the earth. He said the geeks shall inherit the earth. Yeah.
But no, I don't know. It's, read too much about every hobby that I get into. That's probably the nerdiest thing that I do. I just feel like I have to take an 8-hour course driven by myself.
Right. Oh yeah, no, I get that. Like I just go down any rabbit hole, like just curiosity will strike, and I'll spend like 6 hours reading about something I'd never even thought to pay attention to. Like, you know, usually starting just to win some like internet debate with some random stranger.
Just to be right about something. That tracks.
Yeah. So we've talked a little bit about D&D in passing, and if I recall correctly, you said you're not playing 5th edition, you're doing Pathfinder?
Yeah, I play Pathfinder, and it was just because the people I started playing with, that's what they were playing.
Oh, okay.
Sort of thing, and so it ended up that when I started, like, because, you know, that's how it starts. You start playing with people, you get really into it, and then you realize that you're not playing with anybody anymore. Yeah. And you're like, well, I want to find somebody to play with, and you're like, well, that's the most impossible task in the world, and then they're like, I guess I have to DM. Yeah. and so it was just like I had all this stuff, but I like it. I listen to a lot of D&D 5e podcasts and stuff, so there's a lot of like rules and stuff that I'll kind of bend into our games, but I do like how I like all the skills in Pathfinder. I feel like it's overwhelming.
I have to agree with you on that too.
Really like the skills.
That was when I first got into 5e. I was like, "Where are all my fucking skills?"
Yeah. What do you mean? Appraise isn't on here. I never used it, but
yeah.
But yeah, that's we play Pathfinder. So, but it's very fun. I never have run the, like, pre-gen things.
Yeah, me neither.
I just was like, I think I should probably just write stuff down.
It's more fun to me. Like, that's, you get you exercise that creative muscle. You know? Like, the first campaign I DM'd in 5th edition was set in... like a parallel Earth in 1890 in New Orleans.
Yeah. That's really cool. I do the whole thing. I like get out all of my dice and just throw them on a piece of paper and then draw a map like around all of it.
I've never heard of that.
I did that for this one. It's been really, really enjoyable. So, but yeah, I play with Matt Coughlin and Megan.
Oh, okay. You're in that campaign.
Yeah. So.
I've been talking to Matt about playing the comedians game that I want to start. Probably just do like a one shot at first, and if it's a good vibe, then maybe do it on a more regular basis.
Yeah. That would be fun. Definitely hit me up about that.
Yeah,
because I love playing.
Yeah, me too. And I like DMing a lot too, and I've been playing mostly for the past 2 years. So it's, but I was thinking, sure, why not write on my cousin's coattails a bit and like make the most clickbaity like YouTube title ever, you know, like Matthew Mercer's autistic trans comedian cousin plays D&D with comedians.
Perfect. Yeah, just name drop.
Yeah.
First 5 episodes, just name drop.
Yeah. Yeah. He taught me how to play D&D. Now I'm a DM too.
One of the players in this game watches Matt Mercer every week. Just titles like that.
Yeah. That's actually something I've started doing on my YouTube channel because it fucking works. I mean, for the longest time, I'm like, fucking clickbait. It's so obnoxious, you know. Like one time I saw a video with the headline. Scientists' new terrifying discovery under Antarctica will change everything. And I watch it, and it's just some geologist's hot take on igneous rock formations.
What we've all been searching YouTube for the last 6 hours for.
Yeah. But like, so my new shtick is like, I posted up a video of the only time I've been booed off stage. I did one of those live at the Apollo clones here in Wilmington, and it was a packed audience, and I didn't even get like 2 minutes. I barely got 2 minutes into my 5-minute set, and I got booed off the stage, and I thought that the shit was hilarious. Like, I'm like, oh my God, like I don't think I've ever even legit bombed. And like my first bomb, like 2 years into this is like just getting like pulled off the stage. I just thought it was great. So I'm like, fuck this, I'm putting this out there. Like, that's hilarious. And, but I put the headline like autistic trans woman booed off stage live at the Apollo. and it's been just like consistently ranking up views, you know, because it's, but the thing is,
so many hot words.
Yeah, exactly. And it sounds clickbaity, but it's exactly, I delivered exactly what it says it is. So that's my new marketing ploy, is to sound like clickbait, but actually, you know, give up the goods.
That's perfect. Yeah, Matt Coughlin is very fun to play with.
I would imagine, yeah.
He's a blast. He plays a Catfolk Ranger.
Oh, wow.
in ours, and he's very fun.
Oh, nice.
He gets into shit, is basically what it seems like he does. This is his first game, too, so he's like, he's been really fun. We had that moment where, like, what was it? He had cut and kind of split up from the party, and they were doing 2 different tasks. And, like, they're basically in, like, a Dinotopia world right now. I
was a tester on the video game version of that.
But so they were helping this guy like track down his like lost dinosaur that had, like something had gone wrong, and he had gone off to get it. And he shows up, and this thing's like in a rage basically, and he's like, all I've got is like this rope. And he's like, is there anything I can do with rope? And I was like, is there anything you can do with rope? And he was like, yeah, I can do something with rope. Like, sets up this whole intricate, like, trip plan and, like, hog ties the thing, like, rolls super high. Nice. And it was just like, yes, perfect. Like, there you go. And now he's unmanageable.
Cool. So, actually, I was at Cape Fear Games a little while back, and I overheard, Megan works there, and which I wasn't aware of at the time, and it was my first time in that store in like years, and but I overheard her talking to her coworker about like, I'm playing D&D with this group, and our DM's another comedian, and it's seriously the best game I've ever played, and I was so dying. I meant to ask her when I was, ringing out, like, oh my God, who's DMing, and so now I finally get an answer to that. That's fucking awesome.
That's really nice. That's a good compliment. One that somebody doesn't know was going to make it back to you.
Yay. Yeah, I'm glad to be Hermes in that situation.
That's great. That's fun. That'll be my nugget of joy that I hang on to the next time that I'm like, I'm really bad at this.
Motherfucking player's breaking my plan again. I knew I shouldn't have given him 5 wish spells.
I feel like I'm still fairly new to DMing. I cannot wait for that moment when I screw up and do something like that. Where I'm like, this isn't overpowered. It'll be perfectly fine. And then just have to spend a year regretting it.
Of course your homebrew monk has an extra 2 attacks.
Just right off the bat. It's fine.
I've been going through that with my DM with this campaign because I'm the kind of person, like, when I get a video game, like, I will buy a game just because it's got a detailed map and campaign editor. And that's the first thing I go into is what can I customize? And so it's like, yeah, I'm like, oh, I get to be a player? Oh, I'm fucking homebrewing a whole new cleric domain, you know? Oh, we're starting at level 10? Awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
There's so much for me to do.
Yeah, and so, yeah, the past 2 years, it's just been like balancing, you know, like, okay, well, that's a little OP. Okay, wait, that's this like too conditional, never get to use any of that. And, like, and it's just this tug of war with the DM.
Yeah. That's I'm 100% the type that I'm like, that's okay if you understand that I can retcon that later.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
I am fine with this, but I retcon things.
Oh,
if
yeah.
it gets out of hand, I'm gonna retcon it. If you don't let me, I'm gonna find a way to.
we do that too, but there's been like sometimes where where it's like because this is our DM's first time DMing, like not since he was in high school, so it's like 20 years. And, so he got to get acquainted with 5th edition when I was DMing. He was a player then. But so yeah, like learning all the rules and everything, like he'll find out something new and then be like, oh yeah, by the way, you remember the time that you used stone shape to turn that earth elemental's leg into a toothpick? Yeah, you shouldn't have been allowed to do that. And I'm like, oh shit, so we got to retcon the past year and a half? Fuck.
Like, oh shit.
But it's been cool though. Like we actually started getting so into the homebrewing stuff that we decided to make a full expansion book on the Far Realm.
Oh,
so,
cool.
Yeah,
that's
we've been
really fun.
Working on that, like with spells and classes and monsters and all that stuff. Because like the Far Realm is the epitome of you know. Mystery and like just there's like no lore to it pretty much. It's just undiscovered territory. But trying to find that balance between you know like exposition and mystery, right? Like cause you don't want to like you know get into you know like too in depth of like, oh, the politics in the Far Realm, you know? You know, like it's supposed to be this place of chaos and madness. So like you don't want to write too much order into it, but you kind of want to also have a bit of a consistency, like some kind of ecosystem there.
Right.
And trying to illustrate like monsters from the Far Realm is so much fucking fun because it's like, okay, how to imagine something unimaginable. Let me see.
How do I put this on paper? That's fun. I like having to stop myself with the like world building stuff too, where I'm like, okay, maybe they don't need to know about the political discomfort between the outriders and the people who work on the city walls and why that is and where it's come from.
Right.
Like maybe they just need to know that it's kind of tense. Maybe that's enough.
Unless they start digging. But,
Unless they start digging, and then they can find out that it's like this really weird like racial thing based off of whether the dinosaur is bipedal that you're attached to or whether it's quadrupedal.
Nice.
Maybe I don't have to dump all
and
that.
Those mutants with the wings are just hated by everybody. Dinosaurs don't fly. Heretic!
Actually, technically, they fall in with the bipedals.
Of course,
of course, I've already got that one written.
I've got 5 notebooks just filled back to front to back.
What's the nerdiest thing about you? It's the politics about the dinosaurs in the single city that my campaign's going to exist in for 5 months.
There you go.
That's the nerdiest thing about me.
Awesome. That's a perfect callback. What is it? I'm trying to get. I just texted or messaged Matt like the other day with. I'm taking a sketch writing class with Chad Fogelin at Daredevil Improv and everything.
Yeah.
And we had to write a blackout sketch, which is like just a quick 20, 30 second sketch. And I had just done a show with Matt, and we were hanging out behind the opera room. It's that brick alleyway, and we're standing there chatting, and like he looks up over at the 2 buildings like across from each other, separated by the alleyway, and they're a couple stories up, and he's just like, "Hey, Steph, do you think I could jump that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, probably." And he's like, "I don't know. It looks looks pretty far. And I'm like, listen, Matt, you could do anything you put your mind to. You know, I believe in you. And he's like, wow, thanks, Steph. That really means a lot. I'm like, yeah. So, yeah, get your silly ass up there and jump that gap. You know, I'm going to put this on TikTok. And he's like, hell yeah. And he, like, runs off and, like, you know, go up to the roof. And, like, I look at all the other people back there, and I'm like, $5, he doesn't make it. You know, and he's, like, up on the roof. And he, you know, takes a couple steps back and then, like, runs and takes a full leap off the roof. Doesn't even make it halfway. He's just like falling, screaming like, ah! And then all of a sudden this beam comes out of the sky and catches him. And then he starts floating up, and then he's screaming for a different reason, like, oh! And then he gets sucked up into a UFO, and it like zips off the horizon. And then I turn to everybody, I'm like, yeah, he didn't make it. That still counts. But yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I wrote that for class, but I want to get him to voice it, and then I'm going to animate it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, I haven't done an animated sketch in like 14 years, because it's a pain in the ass. Well, it used to be more pain in the ass, but now with all the technology, like I got this new Adobe software where you can basically just like create a digital puppet, and it uses facial recognition. So you could just like animate the puppet by like moving and talking, and it'll do all that shit for you.
That's crazy.
I'm like, fuck yeah, I love living in the future. It's not all dystopic.
Yeah, no. The yeah, the machine that makes the puppet move like you is definitely not dystopic.
Yeah.
The camera that watches you and is like, I can draw this for you.
Yeah. But the obese incel who hasn't bathed in weeks and's got Cheeto dust in his beard watching you through same camera. That's the dystopic part. Double-edged sword every time, you know? Like fire will cook your food and, you know, keep you warm at night, and it'll burn your house down, you know?
The yin and the yang, always.
Yeah. That's what I always say to Luddites that are like, oh, we got to stop all of this. We're going to get Terminator, you know? And it's like, yeah, maybe. I mean, you know, but, you know, at the same time, you know, you want to get rid of penicillin? Come on. You can't have an all or nothing approach to anything, really. I mean, like, not even black and white or black and white, you know, 100%, you know, there's even nuance there. So. Yeah. Well, I have to pee.
Do you?
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering.
Okay. What do you gonna go, what do you want to do? You want to take a pee? You want to talk some more?
I'm just going to pee right here as I'm sitting.
Okay, well that's fine too. I wondered you were looking at me in a different way, and I've had a 2-year-old before, and that is the way that they looked at me when they pee-peed on themselves.
Okay, so, I'm good to go.
There you go.
No, I'm kidding. I'm
okay.
Gonna pause it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. But okay. So now that my bladder is lighter, yay. Is that your jaunty island dance?
That is.
I dig it.
That's as jaunty as I get.
Yeah.
I don't do much jaunting when I do.
I'll have to hire you to dance for my band.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Just get on stage. And...
That's perfect. I'm always looking for gigs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All of us entertainers, we're really just glorified prostitutes.
That's pretty much right.
Or actual prostitutes,
or
you know.
prostitutes.
That's my day gig. Just set up over by the food line near like Kerr and Market Street. You know,
it's a good spot.
Noon to 2. That is like high traffic area.
It is. Mm-hmm. That's the lunch break too. You actually get some people who have got a tie and have a job. You know.
Not over there. No. We're like I work the just below the poverty level clientele.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah,
I got you. You haven't you don't venture up into the more bougie areas.
No.
Okay.
No. The money people don't want what I got.
Mm-hmm.
You know. They probably wouldn't pee on me if I was on fire.
Certainly wouldn't pay me to do it.
I'm gonna spit my coffee out. Oh shit. Yeah. Yay.
Yay.
Hey, do you have any dates coming up you want to plug?
I'm actually gonna be at Dead Crow this weekend. So you put these up tomorrow, or is that or do you do it
Friday?
Next week?
Yeah,
Oh
this
yeah,
Friday.
Oh,
Yeah.
tomorrow's not Friday.
No, it's Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Friday night and Saturday night, I will be featuring at the Dead Crow for a comedian whose name I should know. But I only got booked like last week, so
okay.
I am not sure. But yeah, there's 2 shows.
So you're doing the opening guest spot?
Yeah, I'm doing the feature. Yeah. So
I did that once. It was awesome. Sold out crowd for Eddie Ift.
Oh yeah, that's fun. I've done a couple of Eddie's shows before. Eddie.
Yeah.
yeah. So
yeah, he's such a nice guy. Like hanging out, talking, and everything. Like,
I've got Eddie's story that maybe should not after the podcast. Because I don't know how stuff like that works.
Comedians are notorious gossips.
Mm-hmm. We are.
Like it's. I think it's like comedians are the grapevine of any given city. You know, like if there's something that you don't want people to know about, and you tell it to a comedian, it's gonna be all over town by the end of the day.
And I think that's like the biggest problem with it is people think that since you are a comedian, they can just tell you whatever. Yeah. There's like, for some reason,
no judgments.
They're like, I can say whatever I want to you, and it's fine. Yeah. You're not like, you're a comedian. Yeah. It's like, that's a bad move.
Yeah.
That is a bad move.
Yeah, definitely. Like, because chances are, first they're going to make fun of you to your face, and then they're going to go tell all their friends, and then they're going to make fun of you behind your back, too. And then you're going to have a reputation of that person that put that peanut butter on that special spot at a house party when there was a family dog present, and you don't want your parents to know about that.
Just the number of just 2 inebriated couples sitting out back of Dead Crow, just saying way too much to comedians.
Yeah.
And I think Jack is like perfect person for that scenario too. Just for some reason, you start talking about certain things on stage, and then people are like, these are the greatest people for me to go and dump all my fetish shit on. And it's like, no. Leave me alone. I'm having a panic attack. I just got off stage. I know you think that this is all fun and games. That is terrifying.
I don't know. Like, I genuinely like talking with people after a show or before a show. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I've been getting on stage for like almost 3 decades. So it's like, I mean, you know, you still get the nerves and everything, but it's not quite as traumatic as, you know, when I first started. But yeah, like spilling, I get that too. Like people just start spilling all their life story to you within 5 minutes of meeting you. But I mean, with me, it's safe. Like, cause I don't say disparaging things about people behind their backs. I'm just not that kind of person. And
well, I'm not going to disparage anybody either, but I will let people know that you told me that you like to stuff dirty socks in your mouth while you guys are having sex, because I don't think that that's a problem. I do think that it's kind of funny.
Right. Not judging.
I do not have a problem with it whatsoever.
Right.
But I think that you told me out back was not what you wanted to do, and it's funny that you got too drunk and did it. Like, that's the way we're handling this situation.
Like my rule is, you know, like, if you say this is confidential, my lips are sealed. If you don't, and then I think it's just like public use information, and like, you know, and I'm not going to intentionally spread it around. But if I'm having a conversation with somebody and it happens to come up, and it's like, oh yeah, so and so is like telling me this. It was like, I was like, really? Oh well, that's interesting. You know, it's like just It's not going to be.
But no, see those rules don't apply to strangers though.
Yeah,
I think that if a
sure.
stranger divulges information like that, they're divulging it to a stranger.
Right.
And thus, I get to do whatever I want with that information now. It's now mine. It's free use. It's not protected by copyright laws.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just comedian fuel right there.
Yeah.
So Dead Crow Friday, Saturday. Awesome.
Dead Crow Friday, Saturday, and then I'm in Southport on May the 4th. Yeah, in Southport on May the 4th.
What's the venue?
Somebody's country club, I think.
You're doing a set at a country club?
Yes. I did a set at a country club in Leland like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, how'd that go?
At this point, I made so much money.
No shit.
No shit. It was a very good show. It was.
Oh, wow.
I was not what they were expecting.
Right.
But it all went fine, and I got paid. So that's where that was.
Hey,
and
put in a good word.
It was well lit enough that I was never like, uh-oh. You know?
Right. Yeah.
It's fun.
Everybody loves a good dick joke. That's what I found. I don't know about you. I hear some comics say, like, well, that crowd was to this or to that. Like, they didn't get me because I'm this and I'm that. And it's like, that's a cop out in my opinion. Like if people want to see comedy, like it doesn't matter. Like if you're funny, you're funny. Period. I mean, you can't blame a whole fucking audience and say like, well, it's not my target audience. It's not my niche.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're not big enough to have a target or like a niche. You know, it's like.
No, it is one of those things where it's like if everybody is here to have fun, then everybody can have fun.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that's just people getting up in their own heads too about stuff. Because you do the thing where you have a joke and it doesn't go as well as you wanted it to.
Right.
And then if you go ahead and turn that into, oh man, this crowd is funky, shell up, do your next 3 jokes in that same like shelled up spot. Then by the time you get off, you're mad at them because none of your jokes work. And since none of your jokes work, and these jokes typically work, like it's just there are so many ways that we just cope with because I mean it's a lot to get up there and do to put yourself out there.
Right.
And it is funny to watch like people come off, or even like nights that I come off and I've not had like a good time, and I can tell like I'm just being like a little pissy ass. Just, like it's gonna be okay.
Like you see somebody that came up after you killed, and you're like, nice set.
It's not for me.
Nobody wants to hang around you because you got the stink of a bomb on.
We avoid each other because we're like,
It's like, I really just want someone to talk to and make me feel better. Like, nope. You go suffer alone in silence like the rest of us.
This is part of it. Go lick your wounds.
But, like, the thing is, like, the first time, like, this was earlier on, like, I just kind of started booking gigs. And I got booked in Wrightsville Beach. And I show up, and there's all these, like, high-end cars, and like I see all these like older rich white people, you know, and kind of conservative looking, like, and you know, I'm all like gothed out and done up, and I'm like, oh shit, this is not. I said to Mark, you know, I was like, this is not the right crowd. They're gonna fucking hate me. This is horrible. Like, this is gonna, oh shit. And I was getting panicky, and I'm like, oh god, oh man, I bet there's a bunch of like transphobes in here, and like, you know, and all that shit, like just compounding anxieties. And then I got up there, fucking killed. Like, they loved me, you know, like people are buying me drinks and like chatting me up outside, you know. It's like, oh, okay. That's when I learned, like, just never judge a crowd, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to do you any good once you get up there anyway.
Yeah.
So you might as well not. Just do the set and
Yeah.
let it go how it's going to go, and then make a decision afterwards.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I get that for sure. That's because that. I mean, the country club show. It was like I did the thing where I kind of like tucked myself away a little bit because I was like, I'm not going out and mingling and being like around this, and it was nice. I had like a little place I could hide away, but then like people walk around and you get like the looks like sort of thing, and it's like, God damn, this is gonna go bad. But,
who is this person? They're not supposed to be here. Someone's like, can I see your membership card? Like, are you with somebody?
Yeah.
I'm the motherfucking entertainment. Leave me alone. Another glass of whiskey, please.
I'm here to dance for you and make you smile.
Yep, I'm the hired monkey. It's such a masochistic profession.
Yeah, it's a silly thing to do.
Yeah.
It's a silly thing to do.
I love it. Love it so much. Okay, so May 4th, what's the name of the venue? Did you remember?
Oh, no, that's still, I have no idea.
I've done that before. There's been times where, like, I didn't remember I had a show until, like, somebody, like, texted on the group chat, and it's like, everybody good for 7 o'clock? And it's like an out-of-town gig. I'm like, yep. Can you send me the flyer, please? I'm like, I don't even remember where the fuck it is. Like,
yeah. I've been like kind of busy in the past couple of months, and I've had a couple of weekends where that happens, where I'm like, man, it's gonna be nice to be able to stay home, and then I get to Friday and I get a message, and it's like, see you guys at Saturday at 7 o'clock in Greensboro, and it's like, man, I just want to sleep. But it is nice. It's really, it's been nice to be like busy lately, because with the whole pandemic and everything, like it just went completely dead, and then it's been hard getting everything like geared back up.
I'll admit, like, I started doing outdoor shows in August 2020.
Yeah,
I was just like, because I was still so new. I'd only done like maybe 10 mics up to that point, you know, and I was like, and I'm just like, I wrote so much fucking material with the downtime, and you know, I was just itching, and you know, I've always had a pretty strong self-destructive streak, otherwise known as borderline personality disorder. It's like, fucking, you know, like, but no, it was fine. But yeah, it is nice to stay busy. Like, you can see like my fucking whiteboard up there, like, because you know I'm in a band too, and so the band's booking like crazy, and then the comedy, it's like, yeah, my weekends and weekdays have just filled up all of a sudden. It's like, good thing I'm on disability, because if I had a day job, this would fucking suck.
Yeah, I get that. I think the last 2 weeks I've done where I've just had like Sunday off, and that's like get home at like 3 a.m. and like have
you don't have
Sunday.
to hang out with the blow and the hookers after every show.
I am number one peace out after the show.
Really?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Irish goodbye, just
I'm the master of it. There's nothing I love better than disappearing from somewhere before people thought I was gonna go. It's I like it.
I'm the opposite. I have to go and like hug every single fucking person there.
God, no,
I stopped doing that around comics though, because I learned that they don't give a shit. Don't touch me.
I don't like big public situations in general. They're a lot, and then like the idea of a bunch of people that you know being at one fills me with so much anxiety with that concept. Like the idea of how many people do I have to say hello to, how do I need to make sure that I say hello to everyone? If I don't say hello to this person, is
Right.
that rude? If I don't say bye to this person, is that rude?
Right.
So I was just like, I'm not doing any of it.
Yeah.
I will go places, I will show up, and I will wave at people who make eye contact with me. When I am ready to leave, I will get my keys and I will walk out of the door.
Right. Yeah. See, when I was drinking, I was like, Little Miss Social Butterfly. I got to talk to everybody, and it's like, sober me is like, oh, now I remember why I drank. It's like, and like, the autism, like, that was what I was medicating those symptoms, the sensory overload and like, it didn't matter if I didn't pick up on social cues, like I'm funny in my head, Right. Like, but now the awkwardness is so palpable, like you cut it with a knife,
just at the forefront.
Good times.
Yeah, I like the opposite approach too. The approach of going around and you're like, well, I do have to tell everybody goodbye.
Yeah,
I absolutely 100% do.
Yeah.
That was the decision you came to.
Yeah,
you were like, I was like, I won't say hey to anybody, and you're like, I'll do it to everybody.
Yeah. Well, that's. I mean, I have that bit. It's like one of the first jokes I ever wrote, but it's actually true because like for the longest time, like my socializing difficulties, always had me so like depressed and bummed out because like I could never. It was so hard like trying to date people, and like I always just assumed that I wasn't attractive and people weren't interested, and and that's just like so shitty for your self-esteem, and then I was like, yeah, but I don't have the tool set or like the perceptual capabilities to pick up on the nuance of in between. Yeah. Like I can't tell if I'm flirting with somebody until I taste pepper spray, and like I can't tell when they're flirting with me until I wake up cold and naked in a stranger's basement. It's like So I just switched to like just from everybody thinks I'm ugly and like not a good partner, a potential partner, to like everybody wants to have sex with me all the time, and that feels great whether it's true or not. Just walk around with that assumption. It's like, I feel pretty damn awesome. It's like just tell myself that's the case, and easy sailing.
But it's either full on or full off.
There's
yep.
Yeah, there's no dimmer switch.
No, just on or off. That's it.
Yeah. So on that note, I think we could wrap it up.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, because actually, I might be recording another one in a little bit.
Okay. Cool.
So,
great.
But it was really awesome having you here, and
nice.
like I feel like we got to know each other a little bit better.
So and that was good. I like that we got to argue about Star Wars.
Oh hey.
And
nope, I didn't have to pull my switchblade out.
Nope. Kept it civil.
Yeah.
Kept it civil. But it was just the first argument, so
right.
I guess that things could escalate.
Yeah. No, I'm easy. Like the way I argue, it's kind of a dirty trick, but but most people don't recognize. Like just use the Socratic method.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's an unbeatable debate tactic.
Yeah,
just ask questions. Ask questions. And people are programmed to answer questions.
Yeah.
Like it's just a response. Like even if somebody is like pissed off at you and they don't want to talk to you, if you throw a question, they're going to answer it regardless.
Yeah.
And
I 100% get it. I use that tactic on my 8-year-old.
Oh, fun.
he's getting to the point where he's started to realize it's kind of a tactic, and it pisses him off. So
yeah.
bad. It's so great. You get him just wrapped up in full-blown anger, and you're like, what's up?
Yeah.
Just, what's up?
Yeah.
And you watch him just be like, just like screaming in his head because he wants to answer and knows you're forcing him to all at the same time.
That's the same look. That's the same look I get from Trump supporters sometimes. What's up?
Oh my god! That tracks. I'm pretty sure if my 8-year-old could vote.
Yeah.
if the character he was had to choose something to vote for, it'd probably be a Republican. It's not. He's got all the good like social justice parts going for him so far, but he's not grown enough to be a leftist yet. Like you have to grow up to be a leftist. He's just not there. It's not his fault.
You have to read some Nietzsche.
You're gonna have to read something by a guy with a beard that you're like, I don't know if he has ever brushed that thing. You've got to do some of that. You got ways to go. That's why we don't let them vote.
Right.
Because children would be Republicans.
Yeah.
They don't know it, but the first time that somebody walked up and they were like, but what if you had 2 pieces of candy and they wanted you to give somebody else that piece of candy? You can't be like, fuck no. Trump.
They'd be like hardcore libertarian Republican.
Yes.
Like, no government. Oh wait, no, that's kind of how I am.
They would be buy a town in Virginia and have it overrun by bears. Libertarians, 100%. That's exactly.
Live on a compound.
Exactly. That's exactly what they would be. Oh my gosh. That's
all right.
fun.
We're gonna have to do another episode of this and continue.
That sounds good.
But yeah, again, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely.
All
I
right.
really appreciate you having me.
It's a Steph's box. Suck it.